What's most pointed about this cell is this is when the administration decided they would start force hoisting the blanket men. The blanket was the force hoisting. I think that was a critical time. That was the time the screws really took it out on the prisoners. They were able to vent their anger, their frustrations on ourselves. H3 had decided, remember Joe had decided that H3 wouldn't fight the screws when the screws had come in, which I could understand. So it's the prisoner's alternative, it's their decisions. That they wouldn't resist the screws when they come in to force hoist them. But we in H4 decided that we would resist what we can. We're two naked men in a cell. Obviously our resistance is going to be limited to what we could do. But at the time I can remember, whenever it had started, it was our wing that had already done, that already started force hoisting in H4. And when it came to our wing, across the yard from me was Beck and Pat, and they were giving us a running commentary as the cells were going down. And I can remember Beck shouting, "You're next." So myself and Jerry got geared up for what was coming. We didn't know what was going to be outside the door. When the door opened, here we were, confronted with men in full red gear, crash helmets, boiler suits, full gear, rigged as if they were addressing a full rat. The door opened, they rushed into the cell. To be honest, there could have been 6, 8, 10 just men straight in the door. But resisting I could do was very, very limited. I was the first that was taken out. They had me pinned, two arms, arm and arm stretched out, 2 legs, had me carried me out of the cell whilst Jerry was pinned to the wall. Obviously, one of the bastards had fucking hit me a boot up the side. Obviously didn't feel it at the time. But through the whole commotion I could hear Jerry screaming, "These fucking bastards." While some screw was booting me up the back whilst the others were holding me. Totally immobilised, totally confused, forced out of the cell, carried through. Jerry couldn't even turn. You couldn't turn. Forced screws let you out onto your feet, physically like a rat squad, trailing you, running you, booting you, punching you the whole way. Down here, there was some, could have been a butcher in a white coat, a chair, whole way down, forced into a chair by some boy standing in a white coat, decided, nice knits, whatever it was, get it off. Shaved my beard, shaved my head, shaved my hair, all the time, whilst others were holding you down, getting battered, getting fucking beat, slapped, as if that wasn't enough. One in particular stood out, one screw called 6 foot, I think he stood 6 foot something, tall, burly, hateful bastard. He was. He just wanted physical damage. He was just one hateful bastard. So he was. Once they decided that they'd shaved my head, shaved my beard, the welcoming party was also in the shower room. Forced into what was just this bath, freezing, fucking cold, freezing water, held, pinned, beat the fuck, scrubbed with fucking deck scrubbers, with fucking yard brushes, with hard fucking bristle. Would lift the skin of your fucking back. I can remember screaming whilst being pinned in the fucking bed, pinned down here in freezing fucking water, slew up the windows outside, freezing water, beat, punched, fucking scrubbed, head shaven, and all the time they were laughing. They got it all wrong. They were kept calling me a pro-wee bastard. Got it all wrong. I was an INLA expert. Their knowledge wasn't too sweet. I was an INLA prisoner, and their knowledge wasn't too sweet. They kept calling me a pro-wee bastard. These aren't fucking big men now. You just lost control of yourself. Because so much was going on around you. It seemed as though you were surrounded by 2 football teams. This is what they used to wash us with. It's hard. That's hard. That would lift the skin of your back, which actually did do. I can remember I was raw on my back, my chest, my legs. By the time they were finished, with their scrubbing and beating, and all the time laughing. Screws laughed, joked, humiliated. One in particular, I remember the time that once I was finished the scrubbing, forcing you out of the bath, freezing cold bath, screws, full rat gear, still having you pinned, totally immobilised, held up against a board which is just outside. You were standing on the hands, you were standing crucified, whilst another screw stood with a bucket with some white, whatever it was, in it, with a ruler. And whilst I was standing, the screw just dipped the bucket and rolled me up and down with some white, whatever the white lotion was. The screws then turned I could hear was turn the bastard round, and turned round yet again, standing pinned, dipped, rolled up and down. Which I thought, fuck, the worst is over me. Get out, get fucking out, and get the fucking back to the cell. He had his pleasure. Forced over a chair, they decided they would start poking up the rear end. What they were looking for, fuck, God only fucking knows. God only knows what they were fucking looking for. They laughed, they joked, whilst poking, they slapped, whilst poking, he was slapping your backside. He was enjoying every fucking minute of it. So he was. He enjoyed every minute of the poking and hoking. So he did. Poking and hoking at you, hitting you, slapping the testicles in your way, you groaning in agony, pinned over a fucking chair. What the fuck are they gonna do? They've humiliated, they've fucking force washed me, I've been freezing water, they've scrubbed me at deck scrubs. The whole period that I had been, the whole period of previous sales had been done, I could hear the screams and the agony which other volunteers had been going through. Just waiting, fuck, when it come our turn, we were going to get through the same thing. None had changed. I think at the time, it seemed to go on forever. It just seemed to go on forever and ever and ever. And it was so audible. I could hear, as if I could hear everything that was being said. Descriptive in what they were going to do. scripted from what they were intending doing. And I just, it's just all coming back now. I just know everything that happened to me in this small, confined space. Myself alone with boy in white coat, boys in full red gear. And here was me, a naked man. Young boy. Young man, shall I say. 1977. I was 21 years of age, 77, when I first came in. 22 years of age, November 1978. Here was I, going to spend 8 years in jail. Best years of my life, probably. So it was. Anyway, when the screws were finished here, their encore, they had their encore. Once they were finished, they're hooking and poking your backside, slapping you about your privates, beating you, physically abusing you, verbally abusing you. By whether this guy was qualified or not to actually authorise. You had to run, they authorised the force wash, you had to run the gauntlet. So you had, they were lined up, both sides, full red gear. Boys in ordinary prison gear, full red gear lined up, waiting on you the whole way down. Beat. Hammered. This was a terrifying ordeal. But what could else happen to me? They had done all they could do. They force-washed me, they sexually abused me. What else could they do? They could kill me. What could they do? What else could? What was next? They could fucking kill me. Beat rolling through here. One. I can remember one screw in particular. I can remember just running after the force wash when they were running me through this wing. I can remember one of the gates and the screw forced me straight into the gate. And about getting forced into the gate, the worst thing I'd done was go down. I was right here. I can remember just getting forced straight into the gate. Naked, washed, they'd done me, what else could they do? I went down onto my knees. And I can just remember of myself being on my knees, holding the gate, while screws were beating me, with myself trying to get up. The more I tried to get up, they beat me, they booted me, fucking pulled at me. Eventually got up, holding on to the gate. I just needed to get away. I just needed to get out. But where was I going? I was still in their control. Straight through. The whole way, forced, beat the whole way straight into cell 4. Relief. Just to get out of the way. Just to get out of the way of the beating. Put in the cell. They had cleaned it. between A wing and B wing. This is what they done. They changed us around. Put in the cell, which they had cleaned. They had steam cleaned. When I thought it was over me, I got in the cell. First thing I'd done, back to the wall. Come in here, my back was to the wall. Fuck it. I was just aching. I just was aching. My body had just, fuck, what had they done? I was just aching. I had been booted. My whole body was just fucking aching. I stood, my back to the wall, looking at the door. Wasn't over. I thought it was over. Who had forced me through the whole wing in decided you hadn't had enough. Come into the cell, same thing. Full riot gear, total in control they were, and all I could do was kind of corner. Try to cover as much as I could. There was no chair here. I tried to get down into the corner, cover up as much as I could. They punched and booted me. Same again. All the same things were being shouted. You pro-V bastard, you dirt fucking so on. How can these men, for what they done, how can they go home to a family for what they had done to me who had a family in the house? How was your day at work? Oh, it was great, it was fine. Did their wives, did their children know what they had done to me, to other volunteers who had families, who had sisters, who had brothers outside? It took a special type of fucking person to do what they had done. They had to be serious. They had all the qualities of a fucking sadist. They had all the qualities of it. God help their fucking mother, God help their wives or children, whatever they were going out to. If they could do what they had done to us, what they had done to me, if they could do that, what the fuck were they doing on the street? You couldn't do that to a dog, what they were doing to us. Jerry eventually, I remember Jerry eventually getting forced down. Fuck, I was glad to see him. Whilst they had me in here, beat me and I was crowding the corner, I just knew that he was here. I could just fucking, he was screaming and just knew there was someone else in the cell and Jerry was here. Just you could see Jerry getting pinned and beat and so on also. When they decided their time was over, they forced their way out the door and left us too. We just went, holy, I just went, fuck. It was relief that they just went. If anything, that made my resolve. Whilst I spent my time in H-blocks, they weren't going to fucking break me. They weren't going to break us. We then done the same again. Shit in the cells. We wiped the cells. We pissed in the cells. We out the doors. We done the same again. What could they do to us? What more could they do to us? I can remember one of the things that really sticks out in my head is I always thought, God help whoever was going to be the last fucking cell that they do, because he was going to be the one that well, they couldn't have vented their anger, but by the time they got through ourselves and so on, what anger more could they vent than anybody? But I can remember the screams. One of the prisoners in particular was the last cell to get done. I could hear the screams of that cell. I could hear the screams of those volunteers. I'm sure they didn't come through any more than what we all came through, but it just seemed, because here we were in a cell, the door's locked. Thank fuck out of the way of that. It's over us. The last cells seemed to go on forever. The beat seemed to go on forever, the last one. The screams and the cries. Something that you'll never forget. Just something you'll never forget. They were the last men. They just seemed to. It just was on and on forever. Our outcome, once the wing had been done, we all started more or less accounting for each other. Shouting around cell by cell. Were we okay? That came about, we all shouting. Sunday was a meeting time. We had a meeting time for Mass. Father Fawad used to come in. It was the only time we ever met each other together, so we did. Everybody seemed to want to go to Mass. Remember one time, there was a missionary came over. He spoke in he gave us so much support. It's no wonder the system didn't throw him out, the screws didn't throw him out. He more or less told us, don't let them break us, lads. They didn't break us. if what they done was they made it stronger. To see it through. The funny thing about myself was, he was me, he was I, who was a political prisoner who had special category status. What was I doing in the Haystblocks? Why was I here? Why was I going through the forced housing? Why was I here? I should be up in the cages. For the period that I stayed here, out of the blue, having come through the forced housing, my time spent here, Scrooge came to the door one day, opened the door. McHenry out, the governor wants to see you. Said, fuck off. We started, fuck off. Going nowhere. Who was the screw at the door? Come out the door. Get out. His attitude had seemed to change. I couldn't fathom this. I just come out of the cell. I wasn't going out. Why was I being taken out of the cell? The governor wants to see you. So obviously, the prisoners knew what the end conclusion was going to be. The hunger strike was obviously in people's heads, and they didn't want me here, who's entitled to special category status, to be here for what they actually should have. I was looking Jerry in the eye. Jerry was just, what the fuck's going on here? Went down to the cell, went down, Scrooge says, put them trousers on. I went, no, putting fuck all on. I went round to see the governor. I stood in front of the governor. No blanket, no fuck off, totally naked. Governor says to me, McHenry, you're getting taken out of here, you're going to the cages. I looked at him. He says, you're getting your special category status. Why the fuck was I here in the first place? If I had special category status, why was I here in the first place? I thought the system was trying to use me. Why were they trying to... Prisoners lost their special category status in March 1st, 1976. I was charged from 1975. I was here. I have to say, my time here, the solidarity with the prisoners was fantastic. The end conclusion, 10 men dead. Patchavara, Bobby Sands. My next door neighbour, born right beside me, Joe McDonald. Lived in 13 Slade Street, I live in 15. Born and reared, went to school with each other. What makes people do this? What makes people go to that extreme? I am what I am. I'm a political prisoner. In no way was the system going to beat me. As with all the other prisoners, we are. We're volunteers. We knew what we were committing ourselves to. We knew what the outcome was. I'm now 52 years of age. Spent the best years of my life in jail. I am being beat. The only outcome of this is until we get a United Ireland, and that is the only outcome. I am a Republican Socialist. I'm will always be a Republican socialist. But our day will come. Our day will come, and they will go. Shouldn't I?